Hey everyone, Michael from Cohen Web Design here, and in today's video we're going to go over website hosting, what it is, and everything you need to know about website hosting. This was recorded in September of 2022, just in case anything changes. So let's get started. What is a website host? So the best way to go about this, the easiest way I explain it to any of my clients is think of a host like a computer, like the one you're on or the one you're going to go on later or anything like that. So think of it like a computer. Now think of this computer as being dedicated to making your website available to everybody in the world, internationally, within the United States, anywhere in the world. And you're paying for that 24/7 uptime. You're paying for this computer to be dedicated to your website. Now, it's a little more complicated than that, but that's a really good basic way to understand things. So let's dig a little bit deeper and see exactly what a host does and why it should matter to you. So here is an actually useful diagram instead of the solitaire example here with the computer being used to play solitaire, and that's its service. So a little bit more useful here. So here we see a diagram where your website visitor, who's the guest, is a computer, and they're accessing their web browser, Google Chrome, and then they're typing in your domain name. So you own the website sallysicecream.com, which we went over domain names as well. So check out that video. That video is also free for everybody to watch. So they type in sallysicecream.com, they click enter, and they go through the internet, World Wide Web. That's a little more complicated, but they go through the internet. They reach your host, and here we have a game show host to represent the website host. Think of it like a game show host. The game show host is holding a manila folder with your website page inside and saying, here, take it. You typed in the domain name, you access the website, take the page. So then your page is being passed back through the internet and through the domain name, through the web browser, up until the visitor. So actually, to clarify the domain name, it's just to access your website. So really, the file's being handed over to the internet, and the internet is handing that file back to the client's web browser. So that's how they're able to access your page. And just in case you're not a diagram person, I have the English typing version right here, which you can pause and read. Makes it a little bit easier to understand. So when selecting a website host, we have to think of a bunch of different factors, and usually people just fixate on cost, as with everything, but you have to worry about the cost per year, the speed in which the website host performs. So if we go back to the slide before, we could see that this whole process, it requires time. There's so many steps in it, but we don't see this. So it has to happen fast. Also, you have to make sure that you have enough storage on your host, on that computer that's being dedicated to hosting your website, enough storage to hold all your pictures, all the text on the website, etc. And the last thing is uptime and security. You don't want a web host that goes down an hour a day, especially if you do e-commerce or something where you're genuinely making money per visit. So here are some web hosts to avoid, in my opinion. This is just my opinion for legal reasons. My opinion, these are not facts, but I would definitely avoid GoDaddy. I would avoid 1&1, and I would avoid HostGator. These people are getting some really horrible reviews, bad reputation in the industry. Stay away from these companies. You may have heard of them because, as we mentioned with domain names, you may have heard of these companies because their marketing budgets are so high. They're dumping so much money into marketing instead of their infrastructure. So stay away from these companies, in my opinion. Just my opinion. So some hosts to embrace, and I guess I don't need to say this is an opinion because it's a good thing. No one's going to sue me for giving a good opinion, but go with Virotech or SiteGround, and there's a bunch more, but these two hosts I've worked directly with. I'm very happy with them. Something to note is SiteGround does an introductory rate at like $60 a year, something very, very cheap. Then they bump it up later. So I don't respect that a whole lot. I like them keeping their rate stagnant and, being honest instead of doing some crazy new user deals and then bumping up the price the year after. So then it just creates a headache trying to leave that host. So as of right now, Virotech is my favorite host. I have about 10 websites with them right now. They've been excellent, very fast, always up. No complaints with Virotech. Not sponsored, not making any money from them. Just wanted to be honest about that. So you're watching this video. Let's move my icon here. So you're watching this video, and that's good. It shows that you care, but why should you care? So it's because you own your website. Unless you're hiring some website developer that says they're doing maintenance all the time and such, the website is yours. It's your responsibility. You could always ask for help. You could always hire somebody to take that on, whether it be me at Cohen Web Design. If you want to hire me full-time to take it on, that's fine. But if you don't, the website is yours. And you should know exactly what goes on behind the scenes. You should know why the infrastructure is the way it is, and just some basic things. Obviously, you could always reach out to, if your website host is good, you could reach out to their support team. They'll answer so many questions of yours. But an important thing to note is I do not take part in reseller hosting, which is basically a tactic that website developers use to get more money from you per month. Just saying, hey, I will host your website for X amount of dollars per month, when in reality, they're just buying another host and they're not really doing any maintenance, maybe 10 minutes of maintenance a month. It's just not worth it. So trying to keep your cost at the bottom line, trying to keep it low, just so things are more affordable. Let's end this on a positive note as well. So let's pull out some final stats here. So per year, as of right now, once again, September 2022, the cost per year from Vero Tech is $115, $110, depending on tax and stuff. So it's about like $950 a month, maybe even lower than that, depending on promotions that are going on and such. And this might seem like a decent chunk of change, but you have to remember that if you own a physical location, you're putting so much money into that. And that's what this last bullet is. Just estimates on retail spaces. This is like bottom of the line retail space for $30,000 a year, let's say. So you dump a lot of money into a physical location, and to put this little amount of money per year into a website, it'll pay dividends, especially if you're doing any kind of sales business, appointment based, etc., e-commerce. You're genuinely going to make that money back, and it's probably one of the best investments you can make, especially in 2022. So that's everything you need to know about web hosting. Everything you need to know as far as basics go. Obviously, there's more things to get into the nitty gritty, which will be premium content for clients. We'll get into that, going further into hosting, further into owning your website. So I hope you enjoyed, and have a good one.